Holy Cross won the toss, elected to receive. They want the offense on the field first. A touchback to start the day for this Crusaders offense that is led by Joe Pizanski. He's a senior, but this is his first year as the full-time starter.
Yeah, he's been a part of this Holy Cross program that's been dominant in the Patriot League. He's been a part of a lot of big games in terms of watching. This year, it's his opportunity to step up. As you can see from these clips, he has all the arm strength needed to make all the throws. About being consistent with his mechanics and distributing the football, making sure he gets it out quick with some of that pressure he's going to see from that Orange defense.
His first start of the season, he struggled, but the last 3 games, he's thrown for nearly 270 yards a game. A Holy Cross team that's 1-3, but all 3 losses by less than a possession. First snap of the day, it's Jaden Clairvaux on the ground. He lowers the shoulder and runs right into a wall for a short pickup of 4. Holy Cross is without their All-American running back Jordan Fuller, unfortunately. So an uphill battle gets even tougher, Craig, but Jaden Clairvaux is somebody they're really excited about.
Yeah, the identity of this offense is running the football. They rushed for almost 3,000 yards a year ago, where they split the conference title in the Patriot League. The 2 running backs they're leaning on in this game only had 106 yards of those 2,900 a year ago. So starting from scratch.
Empty backfield this time for Pizanski, facing some pressure, lofts it downfield, and it's incomplete, looking for Max Mosey, who had a breakout game last week. Devin Grant had the coverage for Syracuse.
Taking a shot downfield here, and he's got the step. Try to maybe a little bit too much on there. Really nice job there by the defender, running with him, not panicking, getting his hand up. Devin Grant, junior transfer out of Buffalo.
First third down that Pizanski faces today. Rolls right, hit as he throws, into double coverage, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Devin Grant, who had the coverage last play, applied the hit, this time on Pizanski to bring up 4th down.
They got pressure right off the edge from his right. You see the defender coming in, forcing him not to be able to set his feet. And then a nice job there, once again, that secondary coverage, rallying, including Deuce Chestnut, number 0.
So a 3-and-out to start for the Holy Cross offense. Jack Norris on to punt. Trevor Pena, a dangerous return man back for the Orange. Great punt from Norris, has Pena chasing it back to the 15. And a short return of just a yard after a 55-yard punt from Norris. But there is a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 23. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick, 1st down.
Add a half a distance goal to the penalty on top of a 55-yard punt from Norris. It's our first look though at Kyle McCord, the Ohio State transfer, who's throwing for 358 yards a game.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about how they've got to get the run game going, but they've been pretty prolific through the air, and it all starts with Kyle McCord, a top prospect coming out in the 2021 class, spent some time at Ohio State, was successful there, and a big pickup in terms of the transfer portal, and he has been as advertised early on here for this Syracuse offense.
Over 1,000 yards in the first 3 games. He leads the nation with nearly 29 completions per game. LeQuint Allen, they want to get the run game going, and a shifty move as he goes twirling down to the 18 for 11 yards.
Nice early run. This is exactly what they want to do. And just a little bit of hesitation as he presses the line of scrimmage. He waits, and that seam opens up, and he's able to get to the 2nd level.
They go quickly with Allen again this time, and he just ducks his head down across the 20. Jordan Pritchard-Sewell leads the charge on the tackle for Holy Cross after a short gain.
He rushed for nearly 100 yards, Allen, in that win over Ohio week 1. Just shot 83 in that week 2 win over Georgia Tech, but only 8 carries a week ago in that loss to Stanford.
McCord's first pass attempt slings it to the sideline with Jackson Meeks, who sometimes gets overlooked because of Trevor Pena and Oronde Gadsden, but really good season so far for Meeks.
Yeah, they feel that they've got a deep wide receiver group. Meeks starting to really come on, a player who transferred in out of Georgia.
Fake the handoff. McCord, the pump fake, launches deep down the sideline into double coverage, and it's pulled in by Amari Hatcher. The big play threat for the Orange strikes again.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a really talented quarterback. Got some pressure coming in, coverage is there, just puts it perfectly, drops it into the outside. Really only Hatcher can get it, does a nice job of locating the football and making the catch.
40 yards from McCord to Hatcher to set up first down in Holy Cross territory. Back to the ground game with Allen, and he gets wrapped up at the ankles. Frankie Monty with his first tackle after 17 last week against Yale.
He was second on that team a year ago in tackles.
Has taken over more of a vocal role this year. He's the leader by example, the leader by voice as well, and he's really embraced that role. McCord zips it over the middle for Gadsden, and it slips through his hands. Frankie Monty was there covering Gadsden to force the incompletion.
Tight end Gadsden, he's a matchup nightmare with his blend of size and speed. We were talking with the Holy Cross coaches that we're not even classifying him as a tight end. We're going to look at him as a wide receiver. Wanting to get the running game going is part of what they want to try to accomplish today. Trying to get Gadsden back involved as well. Had a quiet week in that loss to Stanford.
Gadsden is lined up as a wide receiver now in the slot. Dumps it off on the check down to Allen, who's a great receiving running back, and he picks up a first down before Cam Santee makes the stop for 11 yards.
You can see Allen right in the middle of the screen. He's there to protect, no pressure. He does a nice job of slipping out, settling down. McCord, nothing downfield, does the right thing, checks down, gets great yardage.
First red zone trip of the day for Syracuse, and the pass is batted away. Damon Donald's got the hand in there. It's second down.
It's always as good as a sack. Always teach D linemen, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. Big number 59 does that and affects the play.
Ninth play of the drive for McCord and Syracuse inside the 20. Quick pass to the near sideline. Meeks his second grab of the drive, and he gets upended shy of the 10 by Frankie Monty, who you're going to hear that name a lot today.
We had a chance to talk to Monty about, you know, what his goals are, and he wants to be aggressive. And he goes, I take pride in being a sideline-to-sideline player, needed to be there getting out to the flat, making that tackle.
Great run stopper, but also can cover great for a linebacker. Empty backfield, quick swing pass on the screen to Allen, and he got clipped down just outside the 5, but it is a first down for Syracuse after 5 yards.
There's so much that Allen can do. He's so versatile, what makes him so dangerous, and this could be really just an extension of the run game, getting the ball out on the edges and letting him run. Nice little mix up here on this first drive as they're moving it, attacking downfield through the air. Some successful runs.
3 carries, 2 receptions for LeQuint Allen this drive out of the backfield. Handed off to him one more time. He got stacked up behind the line of scrimmage by Curtis Harris-Lopez.
Harris-Lopez, you right up top, right off the edge, doing a great job as he gets around that tackle, not wasting any steps. Tight, gets flat, is able to make that play in the backfield. He's a big part of that defense as well. Frankie Monty anchors it, but Curtis Harris-Lopez is probably his number 2 there in terms of just being a force on that defense.
His team-leading 7th tackle for loss of the season. Play action, quick fade to the end zone to Gadsden. He let him a little bit too much. 3rd and goal.
Nice job there by the sophomore, Cam Jones, number 1 in coverage. He's running with him.
That's the guy that Joe Pazanski, we talked to him earlier this week. He said, I hate going at Cam Jones. He always makes a play on the ball.
Nice job marching down into the red zone here, but now facing a 3rd down.
Can the Holy Cross defense get a stand and force 3 instead of 6? McCord under duress, flushed out to the left, fires on the run, to Hatcher, touchdown Syracuse.
You see McCord, initially a good pocket. He has to break out. He's not a dual threat quarterback, but he certainly has the athleticism to extend plays. He does that. Nice job by Hatcher working with him, coming back, getting open.
First touchdown pass today for Kyle McCord. Back-to-back weeks, Umari Hatcher has a receiving touchdown. An opening touchdown drive for Syracuse. 7-0. A flawless opening possession for Syracuse that spanned 13 plays. Craig went 92 yards and capped off by Umari Hatcher touchdown catch.
Yeah, they started it out. Nice run, got a little bit of kind of mojo going on that first drive, then let kind of Kyle McCord take over. Did a job. 3 different players had at least 2 receptions on that drive as they marched downfield.
Carlo Crosetti from the 10, short kickoff. Reversing field, turns the corner with some speed across the 30, and he's finally dragged down from behind at the 36. Well, they gave a bit of everything on their longest touchdown drive of the season.
Yeah, here it starts off with that run by Allen. Good patience, finding the seam, getting to the 2nd level. And then Kyle McCord would take a shot downfield with a beautifully placed ball to number 5, Hatcher. And then here, right on the score, get a little pressure, roll out, square up those shoulders, find Hatcher in the end zone to complete that drive.
11th touchdown pass of the season already for Kyle McCord, who's just played barely over 3 games. First touch for Sam Slade, the backup running back for Holy Cross, and he is yanked down after a short pickup by Chase Simmons.
And just go, you know, we very early in this game, we've mentioned a run game a lot. But why it's important is because they just need to be able to complement that passing offense, as we've seen through the first 3 games, can be very dangerous, especially with Kyle McCord. So it's a nice little bit of balance there in that first drive, and I imagine we'll see more of it as the game unfolds here.
9 pass plays, 4 run plays on that 13-play touchdown drive for the Orange. Quick screen pass, it's Elijah Cason, the true freshman, who they are really excited about. Gets ripped down at the 40 for 3 yards to bring up 3rd down.
Third down, changing out that defensive front.
3 and out last drive, trying to avoid that here on a 3rd and 7. Pizanski sprinting out to the right, has a lot of space in front of him, uses the legs, leaps forward to the line to gain, and they're marking him out about 2 yards shy.
Pizanski, usually when he does run, it's on 3rd. They showed pressure, wound up backing out, only brought 3. Pizanski gets out, and does a nice job here by Devin Gant on the edge. You can't see him. He's going to come into your screen where he didn't give up too much ground. He's able to come up and force Pizanski out before he can get to the marker.
Norris has punted it once today for 55 yards. A low lining boot and a fair catch called for by Pena at the 20. Syracuse's offense already up 7-0, coming back out on the field next.
McCord is getting it done through the air, has all the physical tools to do that, has become quickly a leader for the Syracuse team, but he'll become even more effective if they could just find some more balance within that offense.
His 358 yards a game, 3rd most in college football, as he snaps it to the sideline. Trevor Pena, the leading receiver, hauls in his first catch of the game for a 1st down. 4th different receiver that McCord has gotten involved in the first 2 drives.
Pena coming off a big game. Player who missed pretty much all of last season. Getting back into the flow of things and turning into a very productive target.
Play action. Clean pocket. Fires to the sideline. Wide open man is Daryl Gill, who slides down for a catch. 26 yards from McCord to Gill, who had a breakout game last week.
Gill's going to come from McCord's left, going to drag across the field. You see him right there in your screen. A little bit of pressure in his face, probably lost a little bit of accuracy on there, but able to deliver.
First carry of the possession for LeQuint Allen as he lowers the shoulder inside the 30 for 8 yards. Seven 100-yard rushing games last year for Allen, ran for over 1,000 yards in the season, and that pass is broken up by Cam Jones in coverage.
Early on here, number 1 has been the one guy that they haven't been able to find any success at. Really nice job there by Cam Jones, a sophomore, breaking on the football and not allowing that reception to happen. They've been 2nd in tackles on the team.
Didn't play last year as a freshman. This is his 1st year of college football, and Frankie Monty, his teammate at linebacker, called him the most underrated player on the Holy Cross team. McCord looking left the whole way, reeled in by Trevor Pena. 2 catches on the drive for Pena.
We saw the numbers on the accuracy of McCord, and this is what he can do so well. Just puts it right there. There's a defender there right on the outside, only where Pena can get it.
McCord slings it to the sideline. Hatcher was broken up again by Cam Jones. And in fact, at the end of the play, it looked like Hatcher became the defensive back to save a pick. Oh, we've seen 2 completions from McCord to Pena on this drive alone. 24 for 28 this season when he targets Pena.
Yeah, that's a lot of success, and from that builds a lot of confidence in both the quarterback and the receiver.
You asked Michael Johnson yesterday, the co-offensive coordinators, Pena playing with a chip on his shoulder. He said, call it a chip, call it whatever you want. He's just playing with a lot of motivation this season after missing last year. Get into the end zone! Touchdown, Syracuse! First touchdown reception of the season for Daryl Gill, and a 13-0 lead for the Orange early. Point after from Brady Denneberg is there. 2 touchdown drives for Syracuse to open in this first quarter.
So we thought maybe they might establish a run game. They're showing the fans one of the best quarterbacks in college football right now. Gill's going to be up top, just a little bit of stutter move, comes to the inside, creates the separation. McCord's able to find him even with the safety coming over the top. He's able to step into that throw and put it right on his receiver. Nice little adjustment there, making the catch. But yeah, they've just kind of said to McCord, go ahead, make it go. He's put some jet fuel into this offense early on.
In the first 10 minutes of this game, Kyle McCord, 10 of 15, 150 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Marched down the field with 1 rush attempt. And that was a nice tough run by Allen, but
receptions of 26 and 23 yards on that drive for Darrell Gill, including the touchdown reception. We talked about it early, Craig, but there is so much optimism and a certain buzz around Syracuse right now in year 1 under Fran Brown.
Yeah, you know, he's a player, not his coach, not from New York, but from New Jersey. And if you're from this part of the country, you kind of know the New York metro area. It all kind of blends in. So a little bit of almost kind of a hometown guy coming home to coach. And really, I think for those in the college football community who follow it closely, he really made a name for himself as an elite recruiter with stops at Temple, Rutgers, Baylor, and most recently Georgia. And I think that's what's got Syracuse fans really excited as well.
Won a championship with Georgia 2 years ago as assistant coach. First play of this drive is a short run for Jaden Clairvaux, just a yard before Dennis Jaquez makes the stop.
I think there's a feeling like he can start to attract some of those top players, not only here in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area in the Northeast, but nationally as well. Maybe get a few of those guys to come here to Syracuse with the track record that he has built as a recruiter.
He also wants to win here in Syracuse. He said, we want to keep the best talent within 5 hours of Syracuse here at home. Sam Slade gets the carry to the right, and he runs into a pile of Navy uniforms for another 1-yard gain. You talked about him being from New Jersey. 15 players from the state of New Jersey are newcomers on this team. 6 players from his hometown of Camden, New Jersey on the roster.
Yeah, it's exactly. You hit it. You know, I always say good recruiting starts at home, and you realize that, and there's plenty of talent here to be able to build this program back up.
There is a flag at the beginning of the play. Pazanski stepping up, misfires looking for Peterson as tight end.
Offside. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
So it's still 3rd down, but one more opportunity for Holy Cross, who's already had a pair of 3-and-outs to start the day.
At the top of the screen there, working against the right tackle.
Third and 3. Pazanski over the middle, pulled in by, or no, knocked away. He was looking for Byron Shipman. Greg Delane had the coverage for Syracuse to bring up 4th down.
Delane with good coverage there, but I think Shipman's going to go back and watch that film and feel like should have had it. Got pressure, but nice job up front, giving a little bit of pocket. It just hits him and just not able to complete it. But the nice thing that Delane does is because he's right there, doesn't allow him the chance to be able to kind of gather himself and bring it in.
3 straight 3-and-outs for the Syracuse defense. Already up 14-0 and about to bring the offense back on the field. Pena the fair catch at the 29. Already 2 scores for the offense. Looking for more after this. is 1-3, Craig, but all 3 losses by a combined 11 points.
And 2 of those losses were inside the last 20 seconds of the game, so they've been close. Just haven't been able to finish.
McCord sprays it out. It's caught by Nixon, the running back, who stumbles forward across the 35. First time we've seen somebody not named LeQuint Allen in the backfield for Syracuse today, and they go right to Will Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon, a big part of that running back rotation. And again, kind of like they've done with Allen, just swinging it out to him, kind of an extension of the run game, letting him run in space.
Yasin Willis, here's the true freshman's first touch of the game, and he leans across the 40 for a first down after 3 yards.
Yeah, roughly 6'1", close to 230. Are you surprised they gave it to him on the second and short run?
Not in the slightest. You and I were on the field before the game. That was the first thing I said to you, as I said, look how big Yasin Willis is.
Only a freshman. A really nice pickup in that class. A high 3-star in the 2024 class.
Nixon lowers the shoulder and ducks down to the 45 for 3 yards. So the first 2 drives, Craig, heavily pass game. They wanted McCord to get going like he typically does, but you can tell now it's about involving the running backs a little bit more.
Yeah, trying to just get some balance. They've shown through the early part of the season in this game that they could throw the ball.
It's Damon Donalds, the senior defensive tackle down on the ground for Holy Cross.
Donald had that nice deflection in the previous series.
So long history that goes back a long ways between these 2 programs. 29 games played, starting all the way back in 1905. It's been dominated, as you would expect, by Syracuse, winning the last 13.
Yeah, well, they played a few years ago, and what was interesting, if you look back then, it was 1973.
Yeah.
It was a long period of, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. They've come back together, starting to play again.
Holy Cross is already thin on the defensive line. Jovan George out, William Robinson out. Now Damon Donald's being helped off the field.
Bryce Stevenson as well, a sophomore. So it's one unit that they've already been stretched a little thin at.
And they have not gotten pressure on Kyle McCord at all today. It's been clean pocket after clean pocket for him. Comes a 2nd and 7. Nixon straight up the gut. And the Washington transfer who played on the college football playoff last year is down just shy of the marker.
Getting that run game going. It's not just about the running backs, those big boys up front doing a nice job. Another run here in this first quarter where the interior of that offensive line has created some seams.
It's a pretty generous spot. They end up giving Syracuse the first down after what looked like they were marking it about a half a yard short initially. Hand off to Nixon. Cuts up the middle, and he's twisted down to the 40 by Cam Jones for 8 yards.
Kind of just basically running power there, pulling the backside guard. They got 2 tight ends on the backside. Going to bring, you see all those bodies pulling. Nice job there by Nixon, waiting, letting that seam open up in the middle, hitting it downhill.
2nd and short now for this offense that's just cruising down the field. Yasin Willis ducks under a tackle, but then he got stood up behind the line of scrimmage by Jordan Pritchard-Sewell and Cam Santee.
Jordan Pritchard-Sewell, number 99. He's a player that jumped out on film watching Holy Cross. He is only a freshman, but he is explosive. Player that had a few G5 offers coming out of high school, but Holy Cross able to win that recruiting battle. He's certainly a name to watch within that program.
Brian Vaganic, the defensive coordinator, said he was our top target last year. really excited they got him here. Just a true freshman from Akron, Ohio, who was the Ohio Defensive Player of the Year last year. That is the first third down Syracuse has not converted today. The linebacker, Frankie Monty, had the coverage to bring up fourth down.
That's a tough assignment there for any linebacker. They're working against Pena, but Frankie Monty, Patriot League Defensive Player of the Week for his effort a week ago. As you said, 17 tackles, doing a nice job right on his hip.
Offense is staying on the field here on fourth down, kind of in no man's territory at the 40. Pena in motion, 3 wide receivers to the top for McCord. Looking right the other way, and it's pulled in by Jackson Meeks. It's a first down. 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Syracuse ran 28 plays in the first quarter to just 9 for Holy Cross. McCord wants it all down the sideline to Meeks. Touchdown Syracuse, 38 yards.
McCord starting this quarter like he ended the last one.
A 3-touchdown day already for Kyle McCord. The 3rd time he's done that in the first 4 games, and it barely took him a quarter to get there today.
He's got Jackson Meeks to the outside. A little bit of a stutter step, gets that corner to stop his feet, works to the outside. Safety not able to get over there, and just another beautiful throw by Kyle McCord. And you see there, it all starts. Excellent protection up front. Beautifully executed play there for Syracuse from beginning to end, from the protection to the throw to the route, resulting in another touchdown. You know, the thing with Meeks too is he initially came out and signed with Georgia, and it's easy to kind of get lost on that roster. Kirby Smart, since he's been the head coach at Georgia, has never signed a class that has finished lower than number 3 in the country. When you do that, that means you got a lot of talent in your roster. Fran Brown, coming from Georgia, knew what type of player that Meeks was, and maybe kind of getting overshadowed with the depth, and here getting a chance to shine.
His 2nd touchdown catch of the season. McCord's thrown a touchdown pass to 3 different receivers in the first 15 minutes and 6 seconds. All right, Craig, the fact of the matter here is Holy Cross has had the ball 3 times. It's been 3 3-and-outs, no first downs. How can they start to generate some offense?
That's a great question. I said you kind of got to stick with your identity, try to run it, but they may need to have to do that a little bit. Maybe what we saw from Syracuse, some of those quick throws out to the edge, try to get those running backs involved. But that is their identity, trying to run the football and get themselves into a third manageable where they could potentially convert.
Pazanski with just 1 completion in the first quarter. Holy Cross ran for a total of 12 yards. Looks to throw, slings it over the middle. That's pulled in by Peterson, the top target, and he stood up across the 30.
Good job there by Peterson. You mentioned he's probably player's got the best rapport with Pazanski. Finding a little soft spot against that zone, sitting down, and Pazanski finding him for the completion.
Pazanski loves throwing to tight ends, he told us earlier this week. Big target, said you can't miss him very easily. 2nd and 2 after the longest play of the day for Holy Cross, and Clairvaux is crawling across the marker. First down today for Holy Cross. It's a 4-yard pickup.
Clairvaux had a fight for that, as you mentioned. Got hit behind the chains. Just kind of got low, kept those legs powering to get that first down.
Dan Curran told us that Clairvaux, just a sophomore, only his 2nd year of college football. He's only scratching the surface of how good he can be by the end of his career. first down. Pazanski with a clean pocket has Mosey down the seam. Max Mosey, touchdown Holy Cross, 63 yards to get back in the ball game.
Mosey is the inside receiver to Pazanski's right. They bring pressure. The O-line steps up, picks it up. And the safety did not see that. Mosey running all alone. Mosey is a player who arrived at Holy Cross as a quarterback. Over the years, his transition to receiver. Max Mosey, coming off a big week a week ago. All alone. The offensive line gives Pazanski time. He drives it downfield. Holy Cross gets on the board. There's a happy quarterback.
21-0. They get the 63-yard pass from Pazanski to Mosey. Still a 3-and-out technically, right?
Yeah.
3 plays, get off the field. This time it's a touchdown instead of a punt.
Much more enjoyable 3-and-out, but yeah. But on the flip side, I mean, Syracuse has just been outstanding here early in this game, and just the first miscommunication.
Yeah, the offense has had the ball 3 times. They've scored 3 touchdowns. The defense had 3 3-and-outs prior to that last drive that Holy Cross quickly went down the field for a touchdown. Kyle McCord has thrown for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns barely into the second quarter. Fakes the handoff, snaps it over the middle, and somebody got a hand on it for Holy Cross. It looked like Matthew Kane, the linebacker, got his paw up there and knocked it down.
Matthew Kane, number 39, right there in the middle, doing a nice job dropping, seeing, getting up, elevating there. Second deflected pass that McCord has had here in his first half.
McCord rolling right, connects with his running back Allen, who stutter steps and gets ripped down just across the marker for 11 yards. Third leading receiver on this Syracuse team is the running back. They love to get LeQuint Allen involved in the pass game.
Yeah, and that's why he's such an important player to get going early, whether it's through carries or in the receiving game. But he's so versatile. And talking with the coaches, too, they'll say he does an outstanding job in pass pro.
Second team All ACC as a running back a year ago, and that is airmailed over the top of Jackson Meeks.
I don't think Kane's a two-sport athlete, but off of those 2 plays, if I was a Holy Cross basketball coach, I might walk down to the football office and see if he wanted to come out. He's got some opt.
They do have Joe Metzger, an offensive lineman who's a 2-sport athlete. Throws shot put for the Crusaders in the spring. Gadsden in motion. Handoff to Allen. Patient run, but he didn't have anywhere to go. He gets stacked up after a pickup of just a yard.
The Crusaders defensive front not giving any ground.
Syracuse 4 for 5 on 3rd down today, but it's been a lot of 3rd and short. This is a 3rd and 9 for McCord in the orange. McCord facing pressure, and he gets dropped for the first time today by Carlo Crosetti.
Crosetti working up top against number 70, the big offensive tackle, turns his shoulders, gives a soft corner there to Crosetti, who does a nice job dipping that inside shoulder, running a tight loop and getting to the quarterback. It's an offensive line that let up 4 sacks in the first half against Stanford a week ago. Cleaned it up in the second half, but those tackles have had some struggles here.
First time Holy Cross got pressure on McCord all day, and it resulted in a sack on 3rd down. Justin Shorter calling for the fair catch near the 25 after a 47-yard punt. What a different game. Holy Cross the touchdown, now the stop.
I wish I would have did something different to have the kid not in that situation to be able to make a play. So it's just on me as a head coach. I don't know really much more. I messed it up. You know, that's how I'll just tell you. Coach Fran messed it up, and it's not on the kid at all. 100% myself.
Well, Fran Brown did not mince words after last week, and he didn't put the blame on anybody else, Craig. Full accountability to himself for last week's loss.
Yeah, listen, and that's what you kind of expect. You know, what makes it interesting is, you know, we all follow sports. We always don't always see that, you know, and I think he's trying to build a culture here. He wants his players to be accountable and holding himself accountable as well.
His offense got out to a 21-0 start. Holy Cross scored, then got a stop, and Jaden Clairvaux gets stood up after a short pickup, and he is mad that that play was blown dead because he was able to shake free.
And you could hear this initial contact. There you go, you hear that? And he's trying to keep those feet moving.
What do you think?
The momentum was stopping.
Pizanski has time, delivers over the middle, batted up in the air and nearly picked off by Jaden Bellamy. Jacob Peterson, the tight end, was the target. Bellamy, after a near pick, is the one down on the ground for the Syracuse defense.
We talked about Pizanski likes his tight ends because of the size and the wingspan. A little bit high there, had to go up, and it looked like after the deflection there that Bellamy had a chance at it.
Take the injury timeout with him. Syracuse up 2 touchdowns. Good to see Jaden Bellamy walk off the field under his own power after taking a spill on this last play.
Yeah, off the deflection. He's going to go up and watch as he lands right on his lower back there. That's where he went to.
So he's off the field after the incompletion. 3rd and long for Holy Cross, who's 0 for 3 on 3rd down today. Pazanski looking left, flushed out to the right, cuts up the middle, leans forward, and he's got a 1st down. You said it earlier, Craig, he doesn't run much, but when he does, it's on 3rd down.
Once again, Syracuse is going to show pressure, but they're going to drop, only bring 3. Holy Cross offensive line able to kind of pick it up. There's nothing downfield because they're dropping 8 into coverage. And Pazanski, who's tough, runs tough, is able to kind of find a seam, get up, and convert.
Pazanski hands off to Clairvaux. Patient run for just a couple yards before he gets ripped down. Well, the Pazanski family, they are quite the athletic family. Mom and dad, basketball players. Joe himself thought he was going to be a basketball player for the longest time, turned into a quarterback, but he said, and his coaching staff said, he acts like a point guard out on the field.
Yeah, Holy Cross head coach Dan Curran said he looks at his quarterback like a point guard, wants to run the offense like that, distributing the football. So it is kind of nice that he has that family background in basketball.
Has one big splash play today, a 63-yard touchdown pass. Has to get rid of it in a hurry, and Clairvaux juggled it and dropped it. Kevin Jobity had the pressure in on Pazanski.
Trying to get the screen going, doing a nice job drawing the defensive line upfield. Trying to throw it a little bit there off balance, and then Clairvaux, number 31, just unable to kind of reel it in, putting it back into 3rd and long. Last few times in this situation, Syracuse has shown pressure and dropped out of it. See if they change it up and bring some.
Syracuse does drop out of the pressure. Pazanski rolling right, snaps it on the run over the middle, and it's caught. 1st down to Max Mosey, who had the 63-yard touchdown catch last drive. It goes for 19 yards and moves the chains. Holy Cross showing tempo for the first time today, but it ends up hurting themselves.
Full start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
First Holy Cross penalty of the day goes against the left tackle, Bradford Blattner.
Trying to run a little bit of a little tempo, working off of the big conversion. Lost that off the penalty, end of yards.
This is the first play for Holy Cross in Syracuse territory today. Short run for Sam Slade, the junior, picks up 3. Holy Cross looked almost shell-shocked the first 3 drives of the game, 3 and out after 3 and out, but these last 2 drives now, football's starting to move. They converted it into 7 last drive, trying to do it again here.
And honestly, it's a much different atmosphere than what they're used to. You know, you come in and it took a little while to kind of get settled down. Pazanski himself showing a little bit more poise here.
Pazanski's got a lot of time, rips it over the middle. That's caught. Justin Shorter, his first catch of the game is a 1st down.
It was Shorter earlier who had that drop. Head coach went over and talked to him. Now responding here.
A 2-time All-Patriot League wide receiver, including back in his true freshman season in 2021. Last year was the first time he wasn't an all-conference receiver, and he actually put up the best statistical numbers of his career. Slade angling to the right, and he got wrapped up immediately by Derek McDonald, the second leading tackler for Syracuse.
It's a nice job there by 15. McDonald working down the line, wrapping up.
Coming off a season-high 9 tackles last week against Stanford. Robert Wright, we talked to his linebackers coach yesterday, said he has a chance to be the guy on defense. 2nd and 12, it's a toss to Slade. Now a pass play to Peterson, the tight end. The trickery works for Holy Cross. Dan Curran drawing up everything. Why not? "28 yards from Slade to Peterson makes this a 1-possession game late in the first half.
Well, nice drive downfield by Holy Cross, and kind of using that identity as a run team here, looking like going to be a little bit of a toss. The defense reacts. You see all 3 defenders that second level come up, leaving Peterson, the tight end, all alone downfield. And a really nice job, too, by Slade of kind of selling that. Sometimes you do those plays, you're so excited to kind of get the football and throw it. They pressure it and rush it a little bit too much. You let that develop, and then Peterson, who I'm going to assume that's his happy dance, able to get the score.
Did you have a Sam Slade touchdown pass on your bingo sheet today?
No.
No? All right.
Pencil that one in. It was, like I said, it was well executed. A lot of times you see those plays, and they're like, as soon as they get it, they want to throw it. He stretched it out a little bit more, really influenced that defense, and then delivered a nice pass.
14 unanswered for Holy Cross after falling behind 21-0 in the first 3 possessions of the game. A completely different game than we thought we had all of about 8 minutes ago. Yasin Willis, the true freshman, from the goal line on the return, shedding tackles and bouncing off guys down to the 30. Even in the run game, and that was what we talked about right at the top of the show, Craig, Syracuse felt they had to establish the run. Now, Kyle McCord's thrown for 212 yards, so it's fine, but at some point, you got to get that run game going.
But it's after that kind of blitzkrieg of a first quarter for Syracuse, as you mentioned, it's 21-14, it's a very different feel here.
They go to the ground in the first play of the drive. It's LeQuint Allen who hops through that defense into the second level for 8 yards. And they've got the ability to get that run game going because he ended the season last year with 4 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, ran for over 1,000 yards. He was second team all ACC a year ago. The ground game just hasn't been there the first few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, McCord has really been strong here earlier in the season, too. And there's 2 transfers at the tackle position. It takes a little time for that offensive line to come together.
Keep it with Allen. He's got the first down.
LeQuint Allen, again, it's not, you have proven production in the junior, what he can do last season, both in receiving, total touchdowns, rushing yards per game. And again, it's also about getting him touches. A week ago in that loss to Stanford, only 8 carries.
This is already his 7th of the first half. He gets ripped down from behind after a 7-yard gain by Frankie Monty and Curtis Harris-Lopez.
And they're kind of riding him here in this drive, and he's getting it done. 2 runs inside. They're bouncing it to the outside. You look at him, he's kind of, he's got that long, sleek kind of build. It almost looks like a receiver. Got huge hands. Two different coaches when we talked to him yesterday mentioned his hand size. Helps him as a receiver.
First pass play, they go right to him. It's Allen who gets upended immediately by Cam Jones. But that's what you're talking about. They want to involve him in the run game and the pass game as much as they can.
Yeah, he's so versatile. And again, you can't discount it, and it's not something that gets a lot of love. But the ability to be in the backfield, to be able to run with the football, you see those big mitts. One coach told us he thinks about 11-inch hands. That's huge. You got to get custom gloves when your hands get that big. But to be able to hand the ball off, to throw it to him, and then also keep him on the field where you feel comfortable that he could stay in and be productive as a blocker is huge.
Play action. McCord, pocket flush down on him, and he's sacked. Jordan Pritchard-Sewell drops him for an 8-yard loss.
Yeah, the exciting freshman getting in there. It's going to be inside over the guard. Upfield, coming around.
Great spin move.
Yeah, he loves that move. See, working up top, working back inside, getting that momentum going, the spin move.
True freshman who had his first career sack last week against Yale. He adds his second now against Syracuse. Quickly swings out to Allen, who dropped it. It was a forward pass. Play was blown dead immediately.
Allen been very strong here in this first half there, looking to run before he had completed the catch. Holy Cross putting Syracuse way behind the chains here on third down.
Syracuse started 4 for 4 on third down, 0 for their last 2. McCord evades the pressure. Has to use the legs and got taken down from behind by Carlo Crosetti. Fourth down.
Crosetti almost had him off the edge. McCord able just to step up enough, and then good awareness by Crosetti to get up off the turf and kind of run him down. 6 is going to come up from the top of the screen there. Once again, good field there by McCord stepping up, and you see Crosetti come back in your screen with the effort. Sophomore has been very disruptive off the edge here in the second quarter.
Had a sack earlier in the quarter. Now he has the tackle on 3rd and long to bring up 4th down. Justin Shorter back to return the punt, lets it bounce behind him, and it takes a Syracuse hop that's touched up at the 2-yard line after a 46-yard punt. It was all Syracuse early, 21-0 before you could blink an eye on the first 3 possessions, but since then, Holy Cross with 14 unanswered.
They've really settled in nicely. The offensive line giving Pizanski time. He's able to get downfield to Max Mosey, a really emerging target within that offense. And here, a little bit of trickery. The toss to Sam Slade, number 26, who finds his tight end, Jacob Peterson, who slips behind the defense. And then really nice stand there defensively for Holy Cross. Now, it's a 3-phase game in the Syracuse punt game, being able to really put the Crusaders in a tough spot here against their own goal line.
Backed up at their own 2. Pizanski to take the snap in the end zone. Just gets out of the end zone, does Jaden Clairvaux.
Getting Clairvaux, number 31, downhill, number 23 coming in, but obviously Clairvaux knowing he needs to get out of that goal line. Devin Grant.
Pizanski on 2nd and long from his own 1, uncorks it to the sideline, looking for Peterson, and it's juggled by Bellamy, who has nearly had 2 interceptions in this first half, but couldn't pull in either.
Good protection. Pizanski, though, really doesn't step into it, floats up there a little bit. Again, Peterson going up there and Bellamy running right along with him. As you mentioned, Noah, second time he's had his hand on the football coming down. And I wonder how much maybe falling on his back that previous play once he hit the ground stopped him from holding on to it.
A timeout taken by Holy Cross right before the play clock hit 0. If it would have been a delay of game, it would have been a half of a yard of a penalty.
Well, they don't got anything to give down there. I'm sure the punter was like, hey, call a timeout.
Well, Holy Cross has actually had some success against FBS opponents. They've lost the last 2 by a combined 6 points, but wins against Buffalo and win against UConn over the last couple of years.
They gave Boston College in that game all they can handle a year ago. But it's interesting how they're in this third down. Special teams can really kind of change it. Holy Cross was starting to grab momentum a little bit now because of that beautiful punt. They've got the Crusaders offense in a really tough spot here.
Third and 11 from their own 1. Down the sideline for Mosey. Leaps, can't bring it in. Clarence Lewis had the coverage to knock it away, and it brings up 4th down. We've reached the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. It feels like we've played 2 completely different games already. Syracuse up 21-0. Holy Cross 14 unanswered to bring it to a touchdown game, but a punt is coming up on the other side. The punter, Jack Norris, with his heels literally on the back of the sideline, and he gets the punt away. This is Trevor Pena, dangerous return man. There is a flag out. Pena turns the corner, down the sideline, and he's tripped up near the 10. But of course, we got to check on the flag.
During the kick, holding, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
That negates what was a phenomenal return by Pena.
A bit of a grab there right in the corner of the screen by number 20. It was a good punt there by Norris. Just he didn't have a lot of room to operate getting that out. But that holding brings back what would have been outstanding field position for Syracuse.
Look at this difference. 204 yards in the first quarter for Syracuse, just 64 in the second. And Holy Cross, meanwhile, has scored 14 unanswered to make this a 1-touchdown game with 1:41 to go before halftime. McCord's thrown for over 200 yards today. Goes on the sideline to Meeks. And it's broken up. Cameron Mills, the cornerback for Holy Cross, had the coverage.
It was a nice throw, but just outstanding coverage by Mills, the sophomore, running with him. His hand is in there, continues to stay with it and break it free. Outstanding coverage. Those 2 corners have played well in spots.
McCord quickly snaps a pass over the middle. Gadsden, the tight end, reels it in for a gain of just 3. One of the top targets for Syracuse. He's been a little bit quiet in this first half.
quite a week ago as well.
Season low, 2 catches, just 12 yards, by far the lowest production he's had this season. Third and 6 coming up for Syracuse, who's 0 for their last 3 on 3rd down. Lofted down the sideline for Allen, and the running back leaps up to make the snag. Not many running backs are making that play.
Oh, that's when it's really nice to have 11-inch hands. When you get up there, knock it down to yourself. Here a little bit on it. Nice job going up, using a big mitt to bring it back down.
Jackson Meeks, after going up tempo with the catch for Syracuse.
Timeout. Holy Cross, their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
Looking for Allen down the sideline, going up. It was a little bit overthrown, doing a nice job outstretching and bringing it to himself. A nice effort there, and that's what, again, we've talked about it before, but what makes him so dangerous is how productive he can be as a receiving target. He's 3rd in Syracuse history in receptions for a running back.
He's already got 18 on the season. 5 of them have come today. And Kyle McCord has thrown for 241 yards, 3 touchdowns, and trying to take advantage of a 2-for-1 opportunity here because Holy Cross won the toss. They received in the first half. So Orange have a chance to score here and get the ball to start the second half. McCord looking right the whole way, lofting it into one-on-one coverage for Meeks, and he reels it in. Wow.
Looked like the coverage was there. Again, Meeks doing an outstanding job. The concentration going up, bringing it down. See where he lands and doing an outstanding job there.
Season high 6 catches in the first half for Jackson Meeks, the Georgia transfer.
Well, you know, there's so much excitement about the big Alabama-Georgia game tonight. You think about that Georgia roster, that a guy like that was kind of couldn't break free from the pack, you know, and how talented he is. And here, coming up here to Syracuse and just showing how talented that he is, and outstanding addition to this receiver group.
He's an Alabama native, played his high school ball for Bo Nix's dad, Patrick. Played in all 30 games over the course of the 2 years that he won a national championship for the Bulldogs. "36 seconds and 2 timeouts for Syracuse." There's a lot of time here to do whatever they want to do. Playbook is wide open. Flings it to the sideline, caught by Pena, touchdown Orange. Four touchdown passes for Kyle McCord in the first half to 4 different receivers. Two-minute drill executed to perfection for Syracuse.
Penny was his inside receiver there at the bottom. You see the 2 receivers to his left. Work upfield, clear some space underneath for Pena. McCord puts it right on him, easy for him to turn up, punch it in. I think important on this drive too, I think the momentum turner was that punt off the previous drive that pinned Holy Cross. Didn't give him any room. Kind of really took away some of the momentum that the Crusaders were getting. Gave the Syracuse offense here right before the end of the half. Good field position, a couple of nice throws and catches, and Pena finishes it off.
6 for 8 on that drive for Kyle McCord. 269 yards through the air in the first half with 4 touchdowns. McCord to Pena is a connection that's been working so well all season.
Pena's early on, Pena taking it in, and it's a player who's again missed almost all of last season. Really kind of found his stride here in 2024. Had 10 catches in that loss to Stanford.
Pizanski to the air. Looks for Mosey. It's incomplete. Threw it behind him. 5 touchdown catches now in the season for Trevor Pena, who they said the offense will continue to run through him in the pass game. 22 catches over the course of the first 3 games, including the 10 Craig just mentioned last week against Stanford. Handoff to Slade, bouncing through that defensive line, and he's down to the 30 for 5 yards. Timeout is taken with 20 seconds to go. Well, we thought somebody called a timeout. Dan Curran did too.
What's interesting about that now is both, during this little period here, both coaches called their teams over.
I think, are they going to say no timeout at all?
There was a helmet off an offensive player after the play, which stopped the clock. By rule, that includes a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 10 seconds and start it on my signal.
So, no timeout originally, but now I think Fran Brown is taking one. It's a weird way to end a first half.
I didn't even see a helmet come off.
I didn't either.
You know, I think that's what confused the coach. I think both coaches figured the other one call a timeout, started calling their teams over.
Elected to call a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Please set the clock to 20 seconds and start it on start it on the snap.
So Fran Brown wants to use the timeout so that 10 seconds does not run off the clock. If they can get a stop here, they have one more timeout. There's a chance they could have a punt return or maybe even one more play at the end of the quarter.
We're looking for the helmet that came off. See the Holy Cross right up top, number 65.
It's Joe Metzger, the left guard for Holy Cross.
Oh, kind of looked like somebody put the helmet off his head.
Career record holder at Holy Cross in the shot put. 2-sport star for the Crusaders. 3rd and 5. To the ground with Sam Slade, and he got wrapped up immediately. Kevin Jobity in the backfield.
Jobity has that 3 technique up top, doing a nice job coming off the block, staying low, wrapping up in the backfield.
Syracuse does take its final timeout to force Holy Cross to have to punt.
Every chance is an opportunity to get better, and had a hold on that, that last return that didn't, didn't seem like an egregious hold, thinking, hey, maybe we got a chance here at a return.
It looked like he was signaling to Pena there that he wants him to take the fair catch because it gives the offense one more play to potentially take a shot at the end zone or do something at least.
Yeah, but if they were going to get it closer to midfield, I could,
yeah. Jack Norris on to punt. He has a 55-yarder already. It's a low line drive kick. Pena takes it from the 35, squeezes through the defenders, and he's driven out of bounds right at midfield that you're just talking about. There is a chance to take a shot now.
Yeah, the Pena did field it. Did a nice job getting him in. Much more reasonable had he just taken it at his own 35 and called a fair catch.
Seven seconds, no timeouts. Enough time to run a quick route to the sideline, take a few seconds off the clock?
Yeah, something real quick, but McCord's got the arm strength also to kind of reach from here, but maybe do just try to get a little bit closer. It's so many guys have been involved, from Meeks to Allen to Pena, that, it's hard to say who may be the guy.
Meeks is the one leading the way today, 6 catches, 91 yards. McCord, picked off. Ryan Ruan with the interception for Holy Cross as time expires.
As you mentioned here, trying to kind of get it downfield a little bit for an easier shot there, but a nice job there from Holy Cross. Renee dropping, getting in that window, getting the interception.
First interception of the day for Kyle McCord after a 4-touchdown first half. Like you said, every moment is a teaching moment for Fran Brown right now, talking to his quarterback, walking off the field. 4 touchdowns, 269 yards in the first half. Syracuse up 2 touchdowns on Holy Cross as we go to half. 21-14 game. Syracuse scored late with less than a minute to go to make it 2 scores. And now the Orange back to receive the second half kick. It's Yasin Willis, the true freshman, from the 2 on the return. Second effort as he drives the legs for a few extra yards across the 25.
One of the factors from that first half as well was that I thought Holy Cross was able to create more pressure, especially off the edge, than I anticipated coming in this game. Stanford a week ago, 4 sacks in that first half. The Orange did an outstanding job of going in at the half, correcting that, getting that cleaned up. We'll see, especially number 6, Carlo Crosetti for Holy Cross. He was really difficult to contain at times coming off the edge, able to disrupt and even sack McCord.
Another Kyle McCord-like first half. 269 yards, 4 touchdowns, goes to the air on the opening play, and it goes through the hands of Aronde Gadsden.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job in that first half. McCord is spreading the football around, but Gadsden, who their elite tight end, has been quiet early on, and I'm sure that's frustrating to him and probably frustrating to Syracuse fans. But as the season wears on, the more players that get involved in this offense is only going to make Aronde Gadsden's life easier, as teams won't be able to double and focus on him.
Just 1 catch in the first half after a season low 2 last week against Stanford. McCord rips it to the sideline in one-on-one coverage. It's incomplete. And there's no flag.
Those corners are doing a really nice job for Holy Cross a few times today, being targeted, manned up, doing a nice job staying with the play.
Caden Newsom had the coverage to bat it away. Pair of incompletions to start this third quarter from Kyle McCord.
Yeah, they've had a few breakups out there on the edge. Obviously, trying to consistently defend McCord's never easy, but
3rd and 10, snaps it over the middle. It's his running back, Allen, who slips a tackle and hops down near the 40 for 12 yards and a first down. 6 receptions for the running back, LeQuint Allen Jr.
Yeah, see him right there, just right through the A-gap, getting open. He's, you know, the more you watch Syracuse, the more you watch him, you see what a weapon he is.
Now he's a weapon on the ground game, reversing field to the right side, and he gets sandwiched down after 9 yards by Tommy Bestpitch.
Syracuse coming off that first down running tempo and the nice 1-2 punch of getting Allen out of the backfield as a receiving target.
Holy Cross couldn't get the 12th man off the field in time, but penalties declined after the 9-yard pickup by LeQuint Allen, who's ran it 10 times today, only 8 total for a season-low 25 yards in the loss last week. 2nd consecutive carry. This one's enough for a first down. Fran Brown loved talking about LeQuint Allen with us yesterday. He said there's not a thing on the field he can't do. You can see him in the run game. He's very productive in the pass game, and his pass pro has taken a big leap this year.
Just to be able to keep him on the field, it just helps with substitution.
McCord whips it to the sideline. It's incomplete. Drew Spinagatti, the linebacker, had the coverage there to force the incompletion. Looking for Gadsden again.
Holy Cross coaches told us they were going to treat Gadsden like a wide receiver, and certainly not made it easy on him today.
A pair of targets for Gadsden in this second half, but no receptions on this first drive. Fran Brown said he's seen a lot of double teams this year, but he better get used to it because they're only going to continue. McCord, it's caught by Pena. Curling around the corner, and Pena's ushered out of bounds inside the 30 by Spinagatti.
Once again, hooking up with Pena, doing a nice job. Just gets upfield, just finds a little soft spot, sits down. McCord puts it right on him, turns upfield for a nice gain.
23 yards. That puts McCord over 300 passing for the day. Rolling left, throwing against his body to the end zone. It's Hatcher. 2nd touchdown catch today.
McCord's going to get flushed out. Orcadu's left doing a nice job squaring up. And just subtle push there from Hatcher, cradle separation.
They just threw an extremely late flag well after the play was over, and Syracuse is walking back. Fran Brown has a perplexed look on his face. I think a lot of people in the building do. So wipe away what would have been Kyle McCord's 5th touchdown pass of the game. McCord facing some heat, drops it off. It's the running back, Allen, makes a shifty move, and he trips himself down near the 10 after 19 yards. But another flag.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's been a pretty clean first half for both teams in terms of penalty. You see right there, offensive line with pushing it back, but that's 2 plays in a row that penalties have negated big plays, one being a touchdown on that first one.
Only 3 total penalties in the first half. Clean half, like Craig just alluded to, but 2 big ones on back-to-back plays for Syracuse. Makes this a 1st and 25. Will Nixon gets a large chunk of that back as he gets upended at the 31 for 11 yards. 5th-year senior Will Nixon, 2 years at Nebraska, 2 years at Washington, where he was the number 2 running back on last year's team that played in the national championship. Adds a very big veteran presence to the running back room for Cuse. Second and long, launches to the right side, and it was just behind Hatcher, who had his touchdown catch wiped away a couple plays ago.
A series of penalties, putting him here in a 3rd and long.
Started 4 for 4 on 3rd down today, just 2 of 5 since. Holy Cross defense was pretty stunned at the beginning of the game, but they've answered the bell. McCord stands in the pocket, over the middle, it's intercepted. Jake Jaromowicz with the pick.
Holy Cross with one right before the half. Here a little bit of pressure, is able to step into it, overthrown. Looked like either the receiver or defender may have gotten their fingers on a little bit of a tip there, going up and deflecting it right to Jaromowicz.
Jake Jaromowicz with his first interception of the season. What a difference about 3 plays make. It looked like Syracuse had a touchdown wiped away on a penalty. Holy Cross defense forces an interception, and now Pizanski delivers a strike over the middle for a 1st down to Max Mosey.
Holy Cross is going to try to work a little tempo off of that. Really good protection on that 1st down play.
Get out of the shadow of their own end zone as well. First down, Sam Slade with the carry, trying to dip underneath the defenders, but it's just a 1-yard pickup before Elijah Clark gets there.
Penalties really just changed the dynamic of the drive. Looked like they came right out, got a quick score, got that wiped away, then Allen with a big response, and now Holy Cross with the turnover. Opportunity here to move the ball on 2nd down.
Second and long. Pizanski doesn't have much protection. It's nearly intercepted. And they're blowing the play dead, saying it's an incompletion. Devin Grant had the hit on Pizanski.
See Devin Grant coming in just as he goes back. Now,
ooh, wow.
It's not if the arm's coming forward, is the hand coming forward with control of the football. You see number 23, Grant comes in. It's going back. It's tough to tell.
It looks like they're about to take a look at it, and I think wisely so. For now, it's Holy Cross football, but we'll find out after the break if that's still the case.
Third down.
After the replay review, the call stands as incomplete pass to bring up 3rd and 9. You tell me, Craig.
Yeah, you know, it's not if the arm's coming forward, it's the hand, and as soon as he gets hit, he loses control of that football. It stands meaning that he feels they didn't have enough to overturn the ruling on the field.
So Holy Cross maybe gets a break there because it also looked like Kevin Jobity was the one that bounced on the football. So instead of a turnover, Holy Cross keeps it on 3rd and long. Bazansky trouble with the snap, zips it to the sideline with Mosey at the 25, breaks one tackle but gets ripped down a couple yards shy. Fourth down punt unit coming on for Holy Cross. So Syracuse will end up getting the football back, but nowhere near the field position that they thought they should have had.
Now, and we had taken a few looks at that. I really thought the ball was out of his hand before he had started moving that forward, but for Holy Cross here, big opportunity to maintain possession, at least punt it away.
Norris gets it away on a low line drive. It does take a nice Holy Cross bounce, and it rolls all the way inside the 25. And touched up at the 22 for the Syracuse drive to begin after a 51-yard punt.
LeQuint Allen, we talked about him in the open, how important he could be to this offense. Early on there with a nice run on the ground as Syracuse tries to fire up that running game, but what makes him so dangerous is he could be a receiver out of the backfield. He's really shined in that role here this afternoon. Then taking it back on the ground, the nice cut to the outside. And once again, showcasing those big hands, going up, knocking the ball down. But a really active part of this offense.
Over 100 total yards for LeQuint Allen between the pass game and the run game this afternoon. Back out on the field, he gets the first handoff, and there's an open seam that he bursts through and just gets tripped up by an ankle tackle at the 39 for 17 yards.
Nothing says we want to be physical and run the ball like getting in the eye. Do a nice job up front. I think that interior offensive line's been doing a good job when given opportunities to block, and a nice run as Allen gets downhill.
Second team All ACC a year ago, had a breakout season, ran for over 1,000 yards. Gets a second straight handoff, and he goes twirling down to the 42. Colin Reynolds, who got the start today in place of William Robinson, makes the stop. That's not a great sign if you're a Syracuse fan, watching LeQuint Allen a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he's a smooth runner, but we've seen it in a few of the touches today. He's physical in the way he runs as well.
Place him with the fifth-year senior, Will Nixon. 2nd and 7, first pass attempt of the drive for McCord as he whistles it to the sideline. It's pulled in by Meeks. First down, Syracuse. Nine catches all season long for Meeks, 7 now today. And he's gone over 100 yards for the first time. Fake to Nixon, a slant over the middle, back-to-back catches for Meeks. You nailed it around the head earlier, Craig, when you said he didn't shine at Georgia, but now at a new place he might.
Nice job, nice read there by McCord of pulling it, and he's got Meeks coming. There on the slant, hits him.
Another quick pass, Meeks for 3 straight receptions, and he's twisted down inside the 20. A heavy dosage of Jackson Meeks, who now has 9 catches in the game. Nixon with a stutter step, and he's pulled down after a short gain to bring up 3rd and 1.
It feels like the potential weapons for Kyle McCord grows every week. Early on it was Gatson. Last week Pena, even though in the loss, he had 10 catches. Now Meeks is the hot hand.
McCord with the QB sneak. Right at the 16, the line to gain, and multiple flags fly in at the end of the play.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 39. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
It's Matthew Kane who gets called for this penalty.
Matthew Kane's going to be on top. He's going to try to jar it loose, but without seeing the football, that just looks bad. I mean, it's just unnecessary, and really, he wasn't even near the football. I mean,
it's a shot to the kidney is what it is more than anything else.
They had some penalty issues a week ago in their loss to Yale. We asked head coach Dan Kurt about that. He goes, sometimes you got to make decisions for the betterment of the team, and there was one where they didn't do that.
LeQuint Allen is back in the game as the running back after he sat a couple plays, and he gets ripped down behind by Curtis Harris Lopez. Loss of 1.
Curtis Harris Lopez for a safety. He's very active in the backfield. Leads that team in tackles for a loss.
His 2nd on the day, 8th of the season now for Harris Lopez. McCord stepping up, takes off, fires, incomplete, looking for Pena.
McCord trying to make a play there. On the move, having to throw across his body a little bit, throwing off the accuracy.
Syracuse has scored in all 15 red zone trips this year, 12 touchdowns, 3 field goals. This is a 3rd and goal from just inside the 10. McCord drops it off to Allen. Can't squeeze through the defenders. He's dropped for a loss by Cam Jones. Brady Denneberg on to attempt a 28-yard field goal. He's made from as long as 33 this season. Kick on the way, and he missed it. First red zone trip of the season that comes up empty-handed. (28-14) still Syracuse.
He's going to do a nice job getting his hand up. Got just enough of that to kind of change the trajectory. You can see right to the left. 994. Going to get that right hand up. Gets just enough of a piece of it. Big stop there by Holy Cross.
Colin Reynolds keeps this a 2-score game. Holy Cross football starting at their own 20. Pazanski hands off. There is a flag on the opening play. Clairvaux gets 5 yards for now.
Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Doesn't help the case for Dan Curran's Holy Cross offense.
See, look at that right side of the line. That offensive line is really kind of set back deep. That right guard and right tackle. Kind of got to break the, be kind of on the hip of the center there, way back.
Right before the play clock hits 0, Holy Cross has to take a timeout.
Thirty-second timeout.
Holy Cross is just sticking in this game, Craig. One play or another, they get a blocked field goal, respond from being down 21-0, just finding themselves still in this game.
Yeah, it's so interesting because Syracuse, I mean, they started out so hot. It seemed like they were going to just light up the scoreboard. And Holy Cross done a really nice job responding. In his third quarter, with still a little bit over 5 minutes to go, those first 10 has been way more sloppy than the entire first half.
Syracuse did have a touchdown wiped away on a penalty. First and 15. Clairvaux stretching outside, got tripped up. Devin Grant, who's made a number of plays in the backfield today, is there again.
Devin Grant, see as Clairvaux tries to stretch it. Does a nice job coming up, breaking down, making that tackle. He was led to MAC in interceptions a year ago when he was at Buffalo.
First team All-MAC selection, followed his position coach and now co-defensive coordinator Robert Wright here from Buffalo. Pazanski fires sideline, pulled in by Kaysen, who made a man miss. There's a lot of excitement surrounding him, just a true freshman. They think he's capable of a lot over his career.
Yeah, I really feel like he's a dynamic player. Impressive to already kind of be involved in this offense at such a young age.
They say he really flashes during practice, but his numbers will start taking off as he gets more comfortable.
Syracuse has not brought a lot of pressure today on third down.
They only bring 4 this time. Pazanski has a clean pocket. Now he's flushed out to the right. Directing traffic against his body. It's tipped and incomplete. 4th down.
Initially, they're going to give Pazanski some time as Syracuse brings 4, but with dropping those defenders into coverage, it gives him nowhere to go with the football and actually making kind of a dangerous throw. There was a receiver there, but they always say never throw back across the middle, across your body. This could have really given Syracuse outstanding field position, but ball falls incomplete. Opportunity here for Syracuse to start with good field position.
Jack Norris on to punt for the 7th time today. He's had 2 over 50 yards. Oh, this one's off the side of his foot. Maybe even better starting field position for Syracuse. Wow. An 8-yard punt. Syracuse takes over at the 20. The Orange will start in the red zone thanks to an 8-yard punt from Jack Norris.
2-1-2. Good.
There's a lot of the second half to be played, Craig, but quite a difference between the first half and second half numbers for Kyle McCord.
Yeah, it just really has not looked as settled in that second half since that hot start.
They do start this drive in the red zone, though, after a short punt, and the pass is batted away. Jake Jarmolowicz, they haven't blown it dead yet. And now they finally do, as Allen loses 6 yards.
Jarmolowicz is going to come from his right, come screaming off. LeQuint Allen's going to try to block him. He goes up and sells out for it.
Now they finally make the correction that it's an incomplete pass. Ball's placed back at the 20, but
it was so bang bang. I think the officials weren't sure what happened. They said, you know what, in case it was a fumble, let it play out. We'll correct it. But wow, LeQuint Allen tried to get over there to block him, and Jarmolowicz just sold out.
Jarmolowicz had an interception earlier in this third quarter. Now a leaping play to bat that pass away, brings up 2nd and 10. McCord spins out of trouble, lost the football, and it flies out of bounds. Kevin Gillis had the pressure in on McCord.
McGillis is going to be head up there against that right guard. Just does a nice job getting to half a man, working the rip. And then just, you see the effort and pursuit is able to disrupt McCord enough as he's starting to throw the football to knock it loose. And luckily for the Orange, that momentum took it out of bounds.
Gillis, a senior who did not play a game his first 3 years on campus, now making an impact in his last year. Empty backfield for McCord on 3rd and long. Fires, looking to the end zone, knocked away. Jarmolowicz got his hands in there again.
Once again, just a target to their outstanding tight end. Gatson looking, trying to get his hand on it. And it was a good thing. I didn't see the number of the safety there, but there was a, had Gatson not been able to get a hand on it, might have been a never turnover there.
This is a 45-yard field goal attempt for Brady Denneberg. His long this season is 33. He got 1 blocked last possession, and this one is way to the left. Fran Brown's offense started at the 20 thanks to just an 8-yard punt, but they could not turn it into any points.
You know, they had one tipped the last time. Nobody gets a hand on that one. Just doesn't get underneath, doesn't get the pop on it, just pulls it to the right.
So Holy Cross's defense gets a stop once again. They get the football back down 2 scores. Fake to Clairvaux. Pazanski rolling left, takes off and slides. Just a couple yards.
And this is a Holy Cross program that's a pretty consistent FCS playoff team. Really have won multiple Patriot League titles. They're off to a rough start this year, but as we talked earlier, Noah, all 3 losses were either by 1 point or within the last 20 seconds of the game. Last thing you want to do with Syracuse is let a team like this hang around here going into the 4th quarter.
3 losses by a combined 11 points this season for Holy Cross. That includes the Ivy League defending champs Yale last week. Pazanski fires over the middle, pulled in by Jacob Peterson, his leading target. 7 yards makes it 3rd and 2.
Peterson, who's kind of been their version of Gadsden and within that offense.
Holy Cross needs 2 yards. Clairvaux dips underneath the defense, and he's stopped about a yard shy by Deuce Chestnut. 4th and short here for Holy Cross. How risky do you want to be?
Well, I think at the very least in this situation with the way momentum's going, you line up and you see maybe if you get what I call a gift card first down. This 3rd quarter's been a little sloppy. Can you get Syracuse to make a mistake?
They snap it with 5. The handoff. Deuce Chestnut made the hit again, and they stopped him short. Turnover on downs. 2 massive plays in a row by the safety.
Well, they go ahead and snap it, try to pick it up. See, Deuce Chestnut off the edge does a great job of, as that defensive line's working down, squeezing job. You see number 0 come down, take away all space, squeeze it, and able to bring Clairvaux down and not let him to get enough of that first down. Holy Cross said, maybe this may be our chance here in this game, pick up this first down, but that Syracuse defense stood up.
2nd straight drive Syracuse starts in Holy Cross territory. They didn't get any points on the last drive that started at the 20. This one at the 36. Fake to Allen. McCord has time into one-on-one coverage for Meeks. Pulls it in. 10th catch today for Meeks. It goes for 30 yards.
Great concentration by Meeks. The entire time, he's the only one between those 2 tracking the football. Goes up, makes the play.
A career high 161 yards receiving for Meeks. Handoff to Allen on 1st and goal. Sheds a tackler and gets ripped to the ground at the 1 by Frankie Monty. Will they snap it before the quarter ends? They will. Handoff to Allen, leaps over the top and is in. First rushing touchdown of the game for Syracuse is a 1-yard run from LeQuint Allen Jr.
And it felt like it was important for them to get it in the 3rd quarter.
A quarter that had no points up until then. A lot of sloppy plays, really on both sides, but especially on the Syracuse side, but this one puts them back up 3 scores.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we joked that one of their scores was a 3-play drive, even when it was 3 and out, it was to a point. But they had to put together a lot of big drives. Were able to capitalize on some big plays, but
35 more plays for Syracuse, nearly 300 more total yards. But for Holy Cross, start of the 4th quarter, down 3 scores. This is a must-score drive.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, almost feels like almost that a whole 3rd quarter, at least the second half, it was played in Crusaders' part of the field. So for them to get out really still within kind of striking distance is a testament to their defense. But as you mentioned here, Noah, this is a big drive here.
Joe Pizanski, the senior quarterback, his offensive coordinator, Andrew Dresner, said he's been acting like everything is on his shoulders, and he loves that. This is a jet sweep for the true freshman, Elijah Kaysen. There's nothing going there. Second and long, tight end set in motion. Pizanski has nowhere. He is immediately dropped. First sack today for the Syracuse defense. It's Moran Watson.
Here, Watson inside just with the power rush and that pressure coming off the edge just didn't allow Pizanski anywhere to go. You see big number 88 just drive his blocker straight back, and then the disruptive Devin Grant coming off the edge didn't allow Pizanski to escape.
Third and 16. To the sideline. It's caught by Maxwell Warren, his first catch of the game. But it's still 4th and long after 7 yards.
An Orange defense, times today, struggled to get some pressure. Here on that drive coming up big, really disrupting Pizanski.
3 and out for the Holy Cross offense. Syracuse has tied the largest lead of the game, and they get the football back early 4th quarter. Punt bounces out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Been an interesting 24 hours in the ACC. I think a lot of people probably saw the finish of Miami and Virginia Tech with a touchdown that was then reversed. Miami squeaks away. Western Kentucky on the road at Boston College up 6. NC State holding on to just a touchdown lead over Northern Illinois in the 4th quarter in Raleigh. You see the finish of that Miami-Virginia Tech game last night? How about that?
Interesting to say, from the initial call on the field all the way through.
McCord still out there, zips it to the sideline with Umari Hatcher across midfield before he gets shoved out of bounds. 12 yards moves the chains for the Orange.
Interesting how McCord has just spread the ball around throughout this game, how many players he's gotten involved.
Six different receivers have caught at least one pass. This is Yasin Willis hopping through the defense down to the 42 for 6 yards. Fran Brown said he's just a true freshman. He's learning a lot right now. But when it's all said and done, they think he might be the best of the 3 running backs.
Nickname Train, he's a big boy.
Second straight carry for Willis, bouncing to the outside, got the first down following a block from Hatcher out of bounds. chased out of bounds by Curtis Harris-Lopez after a gain of 19.
We're able to collapse down on the right side of that offensive line. You see Willis right off the edge, and the big man gets rumbling downfield.
Fake to Willis. McCord sidesteps the pressure, looking for Hatcher. Oh, it went through his hands.
Willis is going to try to get the block coming from the other side. Just as able to disrupt enough, but it kind of forced McCord on the move and still made a nice throw and right off of Hatcher's hand. Fingers, really. But that pressure was just disruptive enough.
McCord rolling left. Throws over the hands of Darrell Gill. Back-to-back incompletions brings up 3rd and 10.
He had Pena right at the next level. Obviously, he was on the move, tough. Pena was right underneath, wide open. You're going to see Pena. He's going to be inside. Watch as McCord starts rolling out to his right. Pena's going to break back out the other way. And he was open right there in that second level. A little bit of a window there, but
this is 3rd and 10. McCord's 50th pass of the day is over the top of Hatcher. 4th down. Field goal unit comes on for Syracuse, who's had 1 blocked and 1 missed. And it's a new kicker, no longer Brady Denneberg. Jaden O on to attempt the field goal attempt. It's 41 yards. And he dunked it. Off the upright. And Syracuse kicking game is 0 for 3 today on field goals. After 4 first-half touchdowns from Syracuse, it's been a whole lot of not so good here in the second. The 1 touchdown mixed in there, Craig, but 3 missed field goals.
So as they get ready for going on the rest of the season here in the 4th quarter, but a lot of football is still to be played in the 2024 season. That's something they probably had not expected being an issue.
So Holy Cross down 3 touchdowns. This is Peterson, the tight end, over the middle with the catch for a short gain of 6 yards. This Holy Cross offense had 3 3-and-outs to begin the game. They fell behind 21-0 in the matter of moments. Fought back to a 1-score game at one point. Syracuse has scored 14 unanswered, though, to make it 35-14. Pazanski facing heat late, had nowhere to go with it, and he's sacked.
King Joseph Edwards there, the promising freshman, the #1 recruit in their 2024 class. He's working up top against the tight end, player out of Georgia with really good length. And Peterson's trying to set up with a screen, so he lets him go. You're going to see him kind of turn him loose. And then just the length of, I think King Joseph Edwards kind of threw Pazanski off. He tucked the ball back down.
Timeout taken by Syracuse. Just over 10 to go in the 4th quarter. Syracuse up 35-14. Game wild to say the least. Time expires, Hail Mary, called a touchdown on the field. Go to replay review. Craig, call is overturned. Top 10 Miami stays unbeaten.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's up talking about this play, and it all kind of starts with a little bit of surprise that it was called initially a touchdown.
And then I think a lot of people thought after it was called a touchdown that they were surprised it was overturned afterwards, just based on the call being a touchdown on the field. So Miami stays undefeated. Boston College down 6 at home to Western Kentucky, and NC State late in the fourth holding on to a 1-touchdown lead over Northern Illinois, who was in the top 25 a week ago, but got upset by Buffalo in overtime. On 3rd and long, pass is picked off. Jaden Bellamy with the interception, and it's a pick 6.
It just kind of feels like Bellamy's owed it, right? He's been so close there. He does an outstanding job of stepping in front of it and getting down. Remember, twice in this game, he's had his hands on the football and not been able to kind of come away with the interception there. He's able to catch it cleanly and take it in. Bazansky trying to stop it and pays a price there at the end.
That very well could have been Jaden Bellamy's 3rd interception of the day. He had his hands on a couple that he was really close to. But that one is a pick 6. So the one he got was in fashion, and it gives Syracuse their largest lead, up 28 with just under 10 minutes to go.
He finds those interceptions are much easier when you don't got to go leaping in the air, jumping over people to get them. Percentage rate making it happen is a lot easier when you can just step right in front of it and get running. But yeah, kind of in a way after falling and kind of taking it hard, you almost kind of feel happy for him that he was able to get it done.
Got the start today because Marcellus Barnes, the true freshman starting cornerback, is out. Bellamy saw a lot of passes come his way. He gets an interception, which turns into a pick 6 for him. A Notre Dame transfer where he played 1 year. He's now in his 2nd year with Syracuse. Had a game-winning pick 6 last year against Pitt.
See him there just stepping right in front of it. Bazansky pretty much throwing from that opposite hash. Even though he's got a strong arm, that's a far throw, and Bellamy there in position.
How does the ball fall off a tee when we're inside and there's no wind?
Let's have the AC on high, I don't know.
Quite the draft. Goes sailing out of the back of the end zone for another touchback. "21 straight points for Syracuse." This was a 1-score game late in the first half. Syracuse scored with less than a minute before halftime to make it 28-14, and it's been all orange since then. Holy Cross knew it would be a tall task coming into it today. Held their own for a while. But as this game has worn on, it's been all Syracuse. Jaden Clairvaux picks up a yard.
For Holy Cross, it was kind of so close yet so far through those first couple of games of the season, and came in today and it looked like it could really be a rough day if you think back to the fast start that Syracuse got off on. And you know, I think for head coach Dan Curran, his first year there at Holy Cross, be proud at the way that his players fought back, as you mentioned, to get him at one point into a 1-score game.
Fake the handoff. Bazansky with a sidearm sling to Peterson, falls incomplete. King Joseph Edwards had the pressure in on Bazansky. 3 losses by a combined 11 points. 2 of those 3 losses happened on the final possession of the game. So close, but so far is exactly right for Holy Cross. Holy Cross has missed their last 7 third down opportunities. Pazanski flushed out, and he's dropped. King Joseph Edwards with his 2nd sack. The true freshman making a splash.
A 4-star recruit, top signing in that 2024 class. Big addition. Going to work over the tackle. They just turn him loose. Usually when you got a 4-star recruit in the field, pretty good idea to at least chip him. But getting some action here today, and here in this 4th quarter, making the most of his time on the field. And if he can develop.
Syracuse takes a timeout, up 28 late. Fran Brown in his first season as the head coach at Syracuse is 839 away from being the first Syracuse head coach in his first year to start 3-1 since Paul Pasqualoni did it in 1991 when he started 4-0. Hasn't always been the prettiest, but in the end, his team was way too much for Holy Cross today. Jack Norris to punt it. Davion Kerr to return it from the 41. Finds a seam. He's across the 30. And Kerr is ripped out of bounds inside the 20. First return for the freshman, and it's a memorable one.
Did a nice job fielding it. You see right to the excellent cut right there behind his blocker. Once he makes that move, he's got a bunch of green in front of him. You see all that space there. Once he made that initial cut, doing a nice job letting his blocker set that up for him.
A lot of the reserves coming in for Syracuse here in the final 8.5 minutes. There's apparently a flag down somewhere on the return at the 38-yard line on the near sideline. Been a long discussion. The return was a 46-yard return, but we'll find out at some point if that stands or not.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Return team. Number 7 coming onto the field during the play. 15-yard penalty will be enforced at the end of the play. First down, Syracuse. This is number 7's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So Jackson Meeks, who's had a big day in the past game, 10 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown. He was just really excited for his freshman teammate on the return.
Well, that's the thing. You see him running down there, kind of in the white. You can't be in there. It's kind of neat that after the monster day that he had, that he's that excited for his teammate.
Michael Johnson Jr., the backup quarterback, is in the game now as he hands off to Will Nixon. So the day for Kyle McCord is done. 28 for 50, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns. And it allows the redshirt senior, Michael Johnson Jr., the son of the co-offensive coordinator, Michael Johnson Sr., to get some snaps. Nixon spins away, and he loses a yard back to the 30. Joe Townsend makes the stop.
Just to rewind for a second. 50 attempts today from McCord. Wow. That's a busy day.
Will Nixon limping off the field for Syracuse. Replaced by the true freshman Yasin Willis. All 4 games this season, McCord has gone over 300 yards. The 385 is a new career high that he passed by 4 yards when he threw for 381 against Georgia Tech, and Johnson is sacked on 3rd and long. Garrett Baldwin in there for Holy Cross.
Well, I would venture they're not going to try a field goal.
They've had some problems today. Syracuse 0 for 3 on field goals. So the offense stays out on the field here on a 4th and 18. Johnson has a clean pocket. Now looking left, zips it towards the pylon. It's incomplete. There is a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Hold. Offense number 71. Penalties decline. The ball goes over on downs. First down, Holy Cross.
So because that was on 4th down, penalty is declined, turnover on downs.
You know, you see number 71 right there in the middle of your screen, but we saw McCord on the sideline, and who he was talking to was the starting center, John Ray Reed, which means that there's also backups in along the offensive line.
Holy Cross takes over after the turnover on downs. Handoff for no gain. Jaden Clairvaux with the run. He is going to become their workhorse back this year, Craig, without Jordan Fuller, All-American at the FCS level, season-ending injury a couple weeks ago. A lot of the workload is going on the shoulders of Jaden Clairvaux.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Holy Cross, they really had to go back to the drawing board. I mean, their workhorse running back lost for the season. You know, they had to put in 2 players who are certainly capable but weren't overly active in that running attack a year ago.
Says Byron Shipman with the catch, bounced off the defender, and he's got a first down across midfield after 15 yards. Yeah, Dan Curran told us this week that they want to get Clairvaux between 15 and 20 touches a game. He's carried it 10 times for only 10 yards today. It's been rough going for the Holy Cross run game, averaging less than a yard per carry today.
Yeah, I mean, that fast start by Syracuse kind of changes the dynamic of how you want to attack the game. But again, this is a team that's been a force in the Patriot League. And the meat of their season is still coming up.
Quick pass to Mosey. For the second straight week, he's gone over 100 yards receiving after never having done it his career before that.
He's really talking about moving forward. He's a player that's really emerged here for Holy Cross. And he'll be key, especially as you mentioned, with Jordan Fuller being out of that running game, having a receiver like him. Once again, he was a former quarterback who's made a nice transition. Could be key to this offense the rest of the year.
Pazanski is dropped. 3 different defenders back there for Syracuse. King Joseph Edwards with his 3rd sack of the game.
King Joseph is going to be up top. Excellent job of using his hands to shed the blocker, and really 2 other defenders there to meet him. I was starting to say before the timeout had been called a bit ago, if he can come along a little bit quicker and work his way into that rotation this year, it's only going to help this defense.
Pass to the far sideline is incomplete. You asked Robert Wright, the co-defensive coordinator, about him yesterday. It was very quick, but when you asked how King Joseph Edwards was doing this year, he lit up. He was excited. He said he's got all the potential in the world as a true freshman.
Yeah, he was such an interesting prospect because he didn't even start full-time for his high school. And you wonder, here's a kid with a boatload of ability. He's got the length, he's got the quickness. There were a few transfers there in high school, but we had him down at the Under Armour All-American game as well, and when it's all clicking, he could certainly be a menace off the edge, and he's making the most of these opportunities in this game.
Davion Kirk calls for a fair catch after the 10th punt today by Jack Norris. This guy is always coaching. It doesn't matter the time or what the score is. This guy's always taking the moment to have a coaching opportunity.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. And I think again, this is his first time as a head coach, but I think a lot of the excitement that he's bringing around his program is the good start and the reputation he has as a recruiter. And you see what he's done. Now, this is a very small sample size, but the year before he got there, that Syracuse class wasn't even ranked in the top 75 nationally. He took over that class late last year and was able to elevate it to number 42 in the country. And he had to do a lot of work there down the stretch to kind of help them close strong. But you and I, we had the opportunity to sit with him yesterday, and you sit with him for a little bit, and it felt like we could have stayed in there for another half an hour or 45 minutes and talked to him. There's just a calmness to him. You can understand why he is such an elite recruiter. There's a genuineness to him. And we were talking about the transfer portal as well with all the news with the UNLV quarterback who has Holy Cross ties and everything. And, he certainly has a vision for this program.
Johnson wants to pass, but has to use the legs. Saw nobody open up field and picks up 3 yards before Baldwin makes the stop.
And I find it interesting how some programs attack the transfer portal. Because some go heavy, some go light. Teams like Clemson, the ACC don't go at all. But he's like, you know what? they're looking at it like the NFL. They're going to use the transfer portal to bring in players that could be difference makers and fill immediate needs. But he wants to build this team and his culture through high school recruiting. And I think, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, a lot of that's going to be done here in the Northeast, about a 5-hour radius: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, New England.
First completion of the day for Johnson. It's Jalen Hornsby with the catch and a first down. And when talking about his recruiting philosophy, he said, I don't want to just talk football with you. I want to have real conversation. I want to know how your mom and dad are doing. I want to know what you're doing in school. I want to know how your day is. Not everything has to be football related.
And that's, you know, going back to what we were talking about with the Sluka transfer, just like we're wondering, like, how would you handle that if you were faced with it? And
Johnson again takes off, got planted after a pickup of 4 yards.
And just unrelated to that, but, you know, he felt like his plan is, I feel like I would see that coming because I take time every day to talk to these players, build relationships, and to feel like if somebody's unhappy, you would see that because you're spending that time, that quality time with all those players on your roster.
Fran Brown's team 2 minutes away from a 3-1 start all over Holy Cross, 42-14 inside the Dome. Final 2 minutes inside the Dome here in Syracuse, where the Orange are 2 minutes away from a 3-1 start to the season. Scored 21 unanswered after this was a one-score game just right before halftime. Johnson to throw, and he's sacked. Lathan Crowley, the freshman, in there to drop Johnson.
That Holy Cross secondary just not letting, nowhere for the go with the football.
5th sack today by that Holy Cross defense. Not just against Johnson, the backup, but they were getting in there too when it was McCord out there against all the starters.
6, Carlos Heredia had a really big day today in that pass rushing mold.
Johnson on 3rd and 16. This time escapes from a sack. Throws against his body. It's a completion for a first down. Jamie Tremble bails out Johnson for 19 yards. A name that they are really excited about as a young guy.
Well, Johnson first bails himself out, gets low, able to kind of break free from that sack, on the move, eyes downfield, finds Tremble, as you mentioned, the freshman. Player with a lot of upside. They feel like could be in a mold of an Aronde Gatson.
Handoff. It's a first down for Jaden Hart. Fourth different running back we've seen for Syracuse. Final play is a handoff to Tyler Chandler. That ends it. Syracuse jumped out early, 21-0 in the first 3 possessions. Holy Cross made it a game, but in the end, the Orange way too much. 28-point winners over Holy Cross as Fran Brown and company start 3-1.